Let's talk about Invincible, which dropped its first 3 episodes on Amazon Prime TV last Friday. So yeah, I'm a bit late to the party, but I mean, they dropped the first 3 episodes, and I was already busy watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Mighty Ducks and doing reviews on that. So I didn't really have time to watch it, but now I have. And here's the review. We're going to talk about it. And I will be doing full episode reviews and breakdowns of this show every week because now they're just releasing one episode every Friday. So it'll be easier to keep up with then. So guys, of course, let me know your thoughts on this episode down in the comments, or these 3 episodes in the comments below. I'm going to start off doing a little non-spoiler, and then we'll get into the spoilers later. So I just want to say that this is a great series. This series is based off of a comic series called Invincible. And I haven't read the series, but going into this with like a fresh perspective, I love it. Like, I love these characters that have been introduced. I love the way they develop these characters. There's so many twists and turns here with these characters. I love the animation style. The animation style is great. Plus, I mean, I love live action superhero shows, but with animation, you can do so much more with the different characters. Like, you got a fish guy in here with the powers here and stuff. There's just so much more you can do with animation, and they really show that off here in these episodes. So I really enjoyed it, and I just really enjoyed these first 3 episodes. So if you haven't already seen this and you have Amazon Prime TV, then you need to watch it because it is just absolutely fantastic. But now that we've got that out of the way, now that I've told you how great this series is and how much you should watch this, for those of you who have watched it, hopefully you're still here because we're going to break this down. Now, it is 3 episodes, so there's obviously a lot happening. We're not going to go as in-depth as I would if it was just one episode. So I'll start doing that with like episode 4 or 5, all that good stuff. So let's start off by talking about episode 1. Episode 1 was a good start to the series. It did kind of feel like a basic superhero series at first. I didn't like how they explained his origins, how Mark's father, Omni-Man, is from the planet Voltron, and how basically he's basically Superman, where this other planet Voltron, it's a highly advanced race of civilized people, and they're aliens and everything, and they have these crazy powers, and they decided to go out and protect other planets, and Omni-Man decided, like, alright, I'll go head on over to Earth, and then that's when he met Mark's mother, had Mark, and all that good stuff. Then Mark was born, and blah blah blah. And when we meet Mark in this episode, he already knows that his father is Omni-Man, and he still does not have his superpowers, but he really wants to have his superpowers because he just wants to be like his dad. He wants to be a hero, and I do think that he got his powers a little too quickly. It was a little coincidental how it was like just that morning he was like, oh, I really wish I had my powers, and then a couple hours later, like, boom, I got powers. So, I mean, it propelled the story, so it had to happen, but that's just my thoughts on it. So now he has his powers, and I love how they showed him training and figuring out how to do this, how he had trouble flying and everything, because it's good to show that instead of just being like, boom, he already knows how to fly and he's great at using his powers and everything. So they really took the time to develop that, and even going into the second episode, he was still struggling a bit there, and I love seeing that in this episode. I loved also seeing how you saw how he got his suit from that Taylor guy, who was voiced by Mark Hamill, who makes super suits. You also saw how he got the name of Invincible. So yeah, there was some cool stuff here. Nothing huge happened in this first episode to set up anything, except for the ending, which was kind of like a post-credit scene, because literally the episode ended and then the credits started. Like it flashed the logo and the credits started, and then like 2 seconds into the credits you hear somebody talking. I'm like, wait, what? Is the episode not over? And then there's another like 5 or 10 minutes of the episode, and this is where the big thing happens, where you get this huge reveal where you have the Guardians of the Globe, which is literally basically the Justice League, because like I said, you have Omni-Man, who's basically Superman. He's not technically part of the Guardians, but then you have Darkwing, who's literally Batman. You got War Woman, Wonder Woman. You got this fish guy that's basically Aquaman. You got Red Rush, who's basically the Flash. And then also Martian Man, who Martian Manhunter, and then also there was the Ghost Lady, Green Ghost. I don't know who that would be like on the Justice League, but this is basically Invincible's version of the Justice League. So it is kind of a ripoff, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because they don't last too long here, because automatically Omni-Man set them up and just straight up murders all of them. Like, it was really gory here. Lots of blood, squishing the heads, twisting the necks, ripping the heads off, and punching holes through the chest. It was some really violent stuff here. And yeah, this is an adult cartoon, but it was really cool to see, and such a crazy twist to see that all of a sudden this character was just evil, and I didn't see it coming at all. I was like, whoa, that is insane. And why did he do that? Like, I still don't know why he did that. I mean, I guess he's just he was just having a bad day, you know. He just needed to let out some anger, and he took it out on the Guardians, and now they're all dead. And then that's when we go on over to the second episode, where we transition that, because Omni-Man, he passed out at the scene of the crime, so everybody thinks that he was attacked too, and he was just the only one that survived. And then episode 2 is where Mark really has to come into his own as a hero, because his father is out of commission. He's in the hospital trying to heal, so Mark really has to become invincible and become his own hero and be able to take down these bad guys. And that's when we see him team up with the Teen Team, and we're introduced to these other characters of like Robot and Eve and the jerk, the douchebag. I don't remember his name, but not a nice guy. And they're fighting some aliens and everything, and things are like going crazy. But yeah, so we got the introduction to these characters in episode 2, and it was some pretty crazy stuff. Obviously, by the end of the episode, Omni-Man was back in good condition, and he was like, all right, I want my suit back and everything. We did get a cameo here in this episode from Seth Rogen, who's a producer on this show, I believe, as well. Other than that, nothing huge happened in episode 2, but really the main thing here was the introduction of the Teen Team and all these different characters, because in the third episode, after we have the funeral for the Guardians of the Globe, which you had Omni-Man speaking at their funeral, and even though he was the actual murderer, you had their funeral, and now there needs to be a new Guardians of the Globe team, because there needs to be that team of heroes out there in the world so that people have hope, and they can always know that, you know, if we're in trouble, we got this team here to back us up. So that's when that guy with like the mullet, the old guy with the long hair, he asks Robot to create a new Guardians of the Globe team. So he basically holds tryouts. You get the whole teen team members getting on the team, but then Eve actually ends up quitting because again, that guy, I forgot the name of, the really jerky guy. He was dating Eve, and then he was caught cheating on her with Duplicate, all three of them, which ooh la la. And yeah, so they broke up. She's mad at him. She doesn't want to be on the same team as him. Mark can't join the team because his father wants to train him on his own. But we do now have this new Guardians of the Globe team, but they're not a very good team. They're just arguing and everything, and things are not going well for this team. And I'll be interested to see how they can actually work stuff out here. Meanwhile, in Mark's personal life, we see that he manages to get a date with Amber, this girl from school that he stood up to her bully. So they're like, all right, let's have a study date. But then all of a sudden he's got to go fight some bad guys, and it's like, duty calls. And Omni-Man is really, he really emphasizes this, that like, you're gonna have to, if you want to be a hero, you basically have to forget about your personal life and just focus on what you need to do instead of what you want to do, which, I mean, yeah, but I think he's pushing it a bit too much. Then after that, we get our ending to this episode, where we see that the Mauler twins, who we saw in the first episode, they got captured and sent to jail. And then at the end of this third episode, they escape jail. One of them uses the other one as a shield because they're clones and they argue over which one is the original. And then one of them is dead, completely blasted apart, blood all over the place. And then the other one escapes. So now it's just Mauler, because there is no twins now, and he escapes. And I'm assuming he's going to be a big character going forward. Maybe he'll even create more clones to make Mauler twins again, or Mauler triplets, whatever he wants, because they're that smart so that they can do some cloning. And then kind of our end credit, post credit scene, except it was before the credits, was we had the robot guy, and he said like it was a good trial run. We'll see what happens next, something like that. So seems like maybe they have some ulterior motives here when it comes to this new Guardians of the Globe team, but I don't know. I'm really excited. I really like these 3 episodes. It really got me invested in this series. Again, going into this fresh, not knowing anything about this series, not knowing anything about these characters. Invincible is a great character so far. I love him. His powers, he's very similar to like Superman, except he's a teenager, so more like Superboy. And he's also kind of got like bits of Spider-Man in there with like his quippiness in battles and stuff, so I love seeing that. So yeah, he seems like a great character. I'm excited to see more of this, see his relationship with his father develop, see what is going on with his father, Omni-Man, and why he's so insane, and yeah, just everything that's going on with the series. So like I said, I will be doing weekly episode reviews and breakdowns, so expect episode 4's review and breakdown to come out sometime this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, let me know your thoughts on this episode, on these 3 episodes, down in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything that goes on in the movie life.